Well, even though the Olympic champion Russia's Elena Shishyanova has retired, Romania's Daniela Silavash, the defending European champion, still faces tremendous opposition from the Soviet Union. Svetlana Boginskaya, the Olympic bronze medalist, is here. And in practice, 14-year-old Alesa Dudnik has looked sensational. If she can get through the incredibly complex routines without mistakes, she must be a threat. Silavash also faces stiff competition from her compatriots Gabriela Fotorak and Kristina Bontas. Finally, there's a really exciting new talent from Hungary, little Henrietta Anodi. She'll be celebrating her 15th birthday here in Brussels and could become the first ever Hungarian to win a medal at the European Championships.
In the all-round competition, the gymnasts are divided into 3 separate groups. And there's a new format. There are no rotations. Instead, they warm up in an adjacent hall and enter the arena shortly before their turn is due. Another new ruling means that even the strongest countries can only have 2 of their 3 gymnasts in the final group. So potential medal winners like Kristina Bontas and Alesa Dudnik are in Group B. That's where we join the action. Alesa Dudnik from the USSR, this new young hope for them. Full twisting Sukahara, her first vault. In many ways, she's at a disadvantage. She's not in the final group, and although that shouldn't affect the marking, it's very difficult for the judges to keep a consistent theme throughout. There, her coach, Alexandrov, talking to her. This is Alesa Dudnik's second vault. Round off, full twist, 9.812 her total. Patrizia Lucconi from Italy on the beam.
Patricia's 18 years old, a very established gymnast, just squeezed into the top 36 at the Olympics, and she's coached by her father.
The diminutive figure of Kristina Bontas from Romania. What a start, what a tremendous series of tumbles down the beam. Such fluency from the mount. Bontas from Anest, the same town as the great Nadia Comaneci. Now trains at Deva. Major mistake by her there.
Another mistake there from Bontas. She's really unnerved after the aerial cartwheel. She lost probably 2/10 on that landing, and then a second leap. She was very low. And the dismount. Double flick, double back. Well, she really did build it up to the end. Some brilliant work there from young Bontas. Pity about the wobble in the middle. She really can't afford that if she wants to take a title.
Oh my goodness, how she attacks the apparatus. Here the dismount repeat really drives into it. Alesa Dudnik from the USSR to asymmetric bars. Well, she went for that opening 4 or 5 times in practice and didn't make it once, but perfect in the competition, and that's the sign of a great gymnast.
Yes, an Arabian mount over the bottom bar to catch. And on the present code, that will be valued as a D2, the most difficult element, plus a 2/10 bonus.
Coach standing in there for the catch it back over the top bar. Double somersault dismount. Well, she scored 9.812 for her vault. And she's gone well on the A-bars as well.
A closer look at some of that brilliant work from Dudnik. Only to see the dismount. To floor, Italy's Patrizia Lucconi. Double back pike to open. Judges looking for at least 3 tumbles integrated amongst the dance and gymnastic elements. Full twisting flick back. Not a difficult little combination called a Valdez into a handstand pirouette. The third and final tumble, all important when the gymnast is most tired. Double back would give her an extra benefit. Scores an extra 2/10 for putting in a move of D difficulty when she is tired. And Lucconi, her final tumble. A well-lifted double back somersault.
Cristina Bontaș from Romania, 9.662 for her beam. Now to floor. Lovely double straight back to open with. Really is a little bundle of dynamite.
Full twisting double back, not quite managing to get fluency out of it, but reversing down into another double back. And it's not just the tumbles, the dance in between, the link-up movements are very clever and well performed.
The last tumble run, what's she going to finish with? A whip back in the middle and a double tuck back at the end, therefore made more difficult. Lovely floor exercise from Cristina Bontaș.
And a closer look at some of this magnificent tumbling. The middle tumble there, that's 2 somersaults, 1 twist.
And there's Bontaș's score, 9.862.
From the Soviet Union, Elisa Dudnik. And this girl really is something special on beam, hoping that everything she tries comes off. Her carryover score, 19.687. She's in the lead so far. And just look at this work. Free cartwheel, straight back, first person in the world ever to produce that link-up. Twisting back somersault. So many girls have difficulty doing that on the floor, and there she is doing it on just 10 centimeters. Dudnik should have a healthy score after this beam exercise because of the new code of points, which is brought into being after the Seoul Olympics. Another new element linked, Arab Spring flick, triple twisting back somersault, magnificently performed.
Here the dismount again. Arab Spring flick and 3 twists in that dismount, and she's right round. So often the gymnasts cheated. Christina Kovac from Hungary. Third place at the moment, total of 19.362.
Nice forward tumbling handspring, fly spring, pike front somersault. Kovac, only 14 years old, extremely powerful and developing nice dance technique too. Besides the skill, tremendous stamina needed to finish off a routine with such a well-lifted double back. Kovac in third place so far, and she could hold on to that. Good floor exercise.
Confirmation there. Alessa Dudnik from the USSR in the lead. Christina Bontash from Romania close behind her, and Christina Kovac from Hungary in third place. Christina Bontash from Romania, this is her second vault. Real height off the top of the horse. She scored 9.875 for her first vault, and in this stage of the competition they do 2 vaults and the best one counts, so she could really go for that one.
And this not the most perfect angle to see just how high she gets from the apparatus. Tremendous propulsion from the top of the horse. 1.5 somersaults in a straight position.
Last piece of apparatus for Alessa Dudnik from the USSR. The floor, 29.562. Her total so far, just over 4/10 away from the maximum. Triple twist and working out of it. Double back somersault here, and even more than that, double back with a full twist. Lovely mixture of tumbles there from Dudnik. Starting with that triple twist, you sometimes wonder whether that's covering up a deficiency in double backs, but it wasn't at all. Finishing with the full in back out there. Very difficult, plenty of power left, plenty of height. And Dudnik has thrown down the challenge to the girls in Group C. Christina Kovac, a vault. Superb vault from her. Is that her first vault? 9.812 her score for that. Little Cristina Bontaș from Romania, just chalking up the asymmetric bars. The girls take enormous care over that. They have to get the tackiness or the lack of tackiness exactly right for them. Bontaș onto the asymmetric bars. The little Romanian there with her Kachev. Coach Adrian Goriak standing in and standing in again as she does the Ginga somersault. Now the Giants, double tuck back. Short, but packed with difficulty.
Yes, John, an excellent routine, and Goriak, the coach, committed now to stand beside the asymmetric bars for the big release and catch moves, important in the gymnast's safety. But Bontaș really not needing him, very competent. Straddle over the low bar, only an A element, the easier of the elements, but that lovely jump half turn, complete half turn into Kachev. Cast to handstand, really are straight arms. Clever shift over to the centre of the bars for her next move, a nice high Ginger. And then using the top bar like a man's horizontal bar, finishing with a high double tuck dismount. 29.424 after 3 pieces of apparatus.
And her score, 9.825, gives her a total of 39.249, takes her into second place behind Dudnik. So at the end of Group B, Olga Strajeva from the Soviet Union, one of the favorites, starting her competition on floor.
Strajeva was a member of the Soviet team, winning the gold medal in the Seoul Olympics, but unfortunately she had to withdraw with a severe knee injury. She's just back to fitness.
And finishing there with a full in back out. Women's gymnastics moving on so quickly. The girls, a few years ago, struggling. If you performed a full in back out at all, it was in the first tumbling run and you were considered quite remarkable.
Yes, excellent. A pity that she didn't land perfectly. I saw her warm up and absolutely stick the landing, and that counts for so much in the judges' eyes. Speed, the cartwheel, quarter inward turn, half a somersault on, 1.5 somersaults off with a full twist, and just not managing to control the landing.
Georgiana Pieva from Bulgaria onto the asymmetric bars. Delchev somersault, and then the drop from top bar to bottom. Was in the World Championship team in both the Olympics. Sorry, the World Championship team and the Olympics. The Bulgarians really a coming force, finished 5th in each of those competitions.
The last part of the routine where she really is in trouble, the full twisting giant, she'd lost her tension and she really performed a miracle to put the double back away on the end of that.
Svetlana Boginskaya from the Soviet Union Remarkable the order of competition drawn, and yet she follows Silivash all the way through this competition.
Not as good as Silivash's. Boginskaya, the Olympic vault champion, and she's just seen Silivash score a massive 9.975. She really has a lot to do to try and land. Boginskaya not very good on her landings generally.
So let's look at the difference between the two vaults. Same vault they're attempting, exactly. Straight, round off, 1.5 twists, but doesn't get the same elevation off the top of the horse, Monica.
Yes, the margin only slight, but 9.912, a brilliant score for Boginskaya's first vault.
Here comes the second one. Same vault again, and she did get more lift that time. Just a tiny movement on landing. This European Championship all-round competition is going to be decided in tenths or probably hundredths of a mark, so every tiny deduction so important.
Yes, and that step back of the right foot, even though she didn't move from her landing position, as it were, cost her dramatically.
Henrietta Onodi from Hungary to the A-bars. Not quite 15, but already such a good gymnast. Ginga somersault and a Jaeger somersault already in this routine. Some lovely pirouette work as well.
Forward giant, she's so tiny, standing at only 1.40 meters that she can use both bars like high bars. The longest routine I've seen in the competition, 19 elements.
Weighs just 30 kilograms, but what strength. Waiting to go on beam. Gabriela Potorac of Romania. Another one who has to be in with a chance at the title. Potorac, who competed in the Olympic Games, wasn't in the team for the last World Championships, but then she took over from the great Katie Szabo.
And John, what a competitor this girl is, because in warm-up yesterday she looked so weak. She has grown and she looked as weak as a kitten, but today in the atmosphere of the competition she really is getting it together.
Yes, she's grown enormously since we saw her in the Olympic Games, and that's always a problem that the gymnasts have to cope with. Adrian Goriak, the Romanian coach, shrugged his shoulders when I asked him about it, because Silivash growing very quickly, and said it's one of those things that you've got to cope with. And cope with it she has. Lands the double back dismount beautifully. She looked a bit leaden in practice, but that was super stuff.
And Potorac, a real stylist. This the dismount, Arab spring, flick-flack into the double back somersault.
Confirmation there, 9.912. Henrietta Onodi immediately announcing that she's arrived on the European scene in a big way.
Sweden's Anna Werner on her floor exercise. Sweden's strongest gymnast. features in the medals since 1963, when nearly all of the Eastern European nations were missing and the Swedes got into the medals, because then they were the top European women's nation.
And the score for Gabriela Potorat, 9.862.
Daniela Bartova from Czechoslovakia, magnificent mount there. Arab spring back somersault to catch the bottom bar. And that is really difficult because she needed enough lift but not too much travel to come back onto that bottom bar.
Coach steps in so we know there's a catch-up coming.
And what confidence to have the board left in. I'd prefer it out.
Shoot front dismount. Good to see that dismount coming back into the competition. The gymnasts seem to be abandoning it in favour of double backs, but difficult to do.
Great Britain's Sarah Mercer to beam. Sarah, 14, 15 this year from Leatherhead Gymnastics Club.
She's had a very travelled background, Monica. Born in South Africa, lived in New Zealand, lived in America. All comes of having a father who's a pilot to the Brabham racing team.
Very positive combinations here from Sarah. Competed in the national championships but could only compete as a guest, despite the fact that she beat all of the British girls clearly. But this is her first major international representing Great Britain.
Going very well. Landing that gainer back somersault particularly firmly. Now, for the dismount, double back, and yes, lands that too. Good start for Sarah Mercer. Strajeva from the Soviet Union to vault. This is her first vault. Round off, straight, full twist. That seems to be the vault of the moment, Monica.
Yes, unfortunately she had quite a lot of arm bend on the top of the horse. It'll be interesting to see her score, see how heavily she was penalised. 9.887.
Now her second vault. Same one again. And I fancy she did get more spring, didn't have to bend those arms so much, Monica.
That was certainly a much superior vault. The first vault, in fact, scored 9.9. But we'll see just how much better those arms were. The landing phase much straighter, much more lift off the apparatus, giving a much more control on the landing. Corinne Boucher on her floor exercise. This is her second, it's 4 disciplines. Although the tumbles contribute highly to the score of the floor exercise. Only 3 marks, in effect, go to Tariff. 5.1 go to execution. The importance of the balletic movements and the link-ups, punctuating the tumbles. There, the handstand pirouette. Front walk out, flick, double back, and that's a very handy last tumble from Karine Boucher.
Started really well with 9.675 on beam and follows it with another good exercise. The French looking very good indeed.
Antje Wilkenlow from East Germany to the asymmetric bars. Successfully completed her vault, a new vault, the Tong Fai. Going very well on bars, finishing with double back pike. She scored 9.837 on her first piece, vault.
Pirouette out of Giant on the top bar. Giant through and then double pike back somersault to dismount.
Martina Litzker from West Germany on floor. At 24, she's the oldest competitor in these European Championships. Competed for West Germany 10 years ago in the World Championships in Dallas. Double twist. John, it looks as though she's been doing some bodybuilding in her spare time as well as gymnastics with legs like that.
Yes, she lists it as one of her hobbies, but a remarkable feat to stay in top gymnastics over a decade these days.
Yes, tremendous fitness as well for a 24-year-old. Very tough sport. Final tumble. Double back, and unfortunately landing out of the floor area, losing 5/10 for the landing and a 10th for going out of the 12-meter square.
Daniela Meister from West Germany. Oh, and coming to grief there with that crossover grip going into the Delchev somersault. Not bothering to re-chalk her hands, getting straight back onto the apparatus. Not so sure that's a good thing. Finishes off well though, gets the concentration back, and that's always difficult after a fall.
Straddling the legs from the Giant swing is a technique that some gymnasts prefer. It has nothing to do with their height. Just means that they can get a whipping action of the legs underneath the bottom bar. But a brilliant recovery after the fall.
Daniela Silivash. Her next piece, the asymmetric bars. And what a feat it would be for her if she could retain the European Championship. Showing off her mobility just while she's getting ready to perform. That's not nearly as easy as she makes it look.
No, this, they're very particular about just how they have the bars, because different people sweat different amounts. Their perspiration affects their grip on the bar. And in Daniela Silivash's case, she has so many high-risk movements that she must be perfectly confident that the bars are accurate for her.
Daniela Silivash then, ready at last. Started with that 9.975. So precise in all her movements.
Yes, straight arm, recatches with straight arms. Everything is so accurate. Even right down to the landing, the undershoot with a half twist. But Daniela Silivash, the new code of points which we've mentioned, really benefiting her because she has so many difficult moves linked together. The mount relatively simple, but from there, John, it's high skill, D after D.
Yes, D's are the most difficult moves. A's the simplest ones. They're the endo circle. Now that really is a proper Delchev. Some of the girls get round and cheated and they've turned before they go into it, but definitely a half turn in that from her.
And really demonstrating amplitude. That's the fullness of movement on absolutely every skill. Gorak just ready for the catcher. She's done it hundreds of times, doesn't really need him, but he's always there to protect his gymnasts against injury. Morissette Geller from Belgium to floor. Pull it back out. Arabian walkout flick, double twist. Double back.
Warm applause from the home crowd for Morissette Geller. Svetlana Boginskaya. She saw Silivash once again. Superb routine. Now she's got to follow it.
And this is where Boginskaya is weak on the bottom bar. She doesn't have very high skill level, and this could possibly affect her score.
Well, a perfect 10 would give her a share of the lead. It was nice, but not that nice, I fancy.
I don't think it had enough difficulty on the bottom bar. Her top bar work is excellent.
Svetlana Boginskaya, 16 years old. There, the 360-degree turn on the top, followed by the catch-up.
But only her mount was an A, and the move just performed a B, so she doesn't have any high-level skills on the low bar. So I would think it would be impossible to get a 10. Toe on, toe off, kick up to handstand, into the giant, a nice high double back away, and certainly a good landing.
And there's a score, 9.95. 19.887 takes her into second place, but she's behind Silivash. To floor, Gabriela Potorak. Takes up a striking pose before she starts. A very beautiful gymnast. Now, this is the piece of apparatus on which she looked rather leaden in practice. Has she got the bounce and the strength for the big tumbles? The whip back, double tuck, lands that safely.
I noticed, John, that she's changed her tumbles around, because in training yesterday she was using a full in back out as her first tumble.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see whether she's got rid of it altogether, because she's not feeling that strong. Did superbly in the Olympics, came in fourth, just out of the medals.
To have such a vocabulary of skill that she can swap them around. Double back tuck to finish. In the middle she had double twist punch front, and she opened with a double back tuck, but from a different combination. Missed out the full in back out that was going so sadly wrong in training.
Potorak's score just come up 9.862 for that floor exercise. Eva Rueda onto the asymmetric bars. .85 for her vault. Really whipping those giants before going into that dismount. 17-year-old. 18th in the Olympic Games, so she's been up there with the best.
And this was a very complicated routine. It's a very complex movement. The whip on the high bar into that double whip dismount. The bars, although they appear to be made of wood, they're actually aluminium with a fiberglass lamination over the top, just a veneer of fiberglass.
At the moment, the Romanians first and fourth, and the Russians second and third.
Henrietta Onodi on beam. She scored a magnificent 9.912 on her first discipline, the asymmetric bars. Hungarians have never ever won a medal in the history of the European Championships. And it would be wonderful if this tiny little girl, whose gymnastics is so brilliant, could break that.
Double pike back. Really whips it through. She's in tremendous form. She really could do it. The Hungarian gymnasts really changed totally in build. They came into the World Championships a couple of years ago with a team, very big girls, now going for much smaller ones.
Yes, John, and she doesn't look at all stressed, coping with the competition admirably. Sarah Mercer from Great Britain to floor. Pulling back out, stepped out though, lost to 10. Started her gymnastics in America, but she's been in Great Britain for 4 years now. Strong routine there from Sarah Mercer. Good double back ending.
Two scores just come up. Henrietta Anodi and Eva Rueda both got 9.875. Karine Boucher going for second vault. Full twist after the round off. A vault that was started by the great Russian Natalia Yurchenko, now being developed by gymnasts from almost every country in the world.
From the Soviet Union, Olga Strajeva preparing her bars. This is her third discipline. She started on floor, she's been to vault, now the asymmetric bars.
Strajeva, after two pieces, in third position. Just a rundown there. Silivash leading with 19.937. Boginskaya second. Strajeva third. Henrietta Anodi from Hungary fourth. Eva Rueda from Spain fifth. Olga Strajeva ready for the asymmetric bars in the bronze medal position at the moment. 16 years old.
Forward Radokla mount. Shapaznikova into an uprise onto the top bar. Both of the moves, of course, named after former gymnasts who innovated them. Nice high catch-out. This is super work.
Double back finish. Strajeva showing she's got the temperament to perform at her best when the pressure's really on. There's Olga Strajeva's bar routine again on tape. There's that double back dismount, and she's got a 10. Only one of the judges didn't give her 10, but top and bottom marks discarded, so it's a 10 for Olga Strajeva from the Soviet Union, and she takes the lead.
Routine went very well until the dismount. Stuck, under-rotated, and couldn't manage to get the twist in, having to come down on all fours to save herself from injury.
On the bars, Barbel Vilgos from East Germany. Round off, back somersault to catch the low bar. Ooh, struggling there on the top bar. A moment of crisis in that exercise. Gets through it, and gets through the Jaeger somersault.
Double twisting back away dismount from Barbel Vilgos.
There waiting calmly by the beam, Daniela Silevash, leader after 2 rounds, but she'll be aware that Olga Strajeva has scored a 10 on the A bars and is a real threat. This, the piece of apparatus she won her first gold medal on at the World Championships in 1985.
And ironically, it cost her the title in 1987 when she fell off.
Nerve showing just a shade. She was so good on this piece in practice. I thought I'd never seen her better. Flick-flack, back somersault, definite unsteadiness there.
Yes, I think the nerves show in her face, actually. She looks very anxious. She doesn't look relaxed. There's not that little smile of confidence.
Great competitor, though. Able to suppress those nerves. Two flick-flacks and lands the double back really beautifully.
Well, I'm sure that she'll be relieved to get beam out of the way. There were 2 or 3 hesitant moments for her, but the big moves she landed.
A handshake from Adrian Goriak, the coach. 9.925 the score for Silivash. That puts her back in the lead. On vault, Morissette Geller from Belgium. Barbel Vilgos scored 9.75 for her bars routine.
Closer look at that vault. There's the full twist in the pucked position. That is half of the tuck and half of the pike, enabling the gymnast to somersault and twist. Now Morissette's second vault. 2 vaults, best one to count. Morissette Geller's second vault. The round off, backhand spring, 1.5 somersaults with full twist.
Shrug of the shoulders from Svetlana Boginskaya. She knows she's really got her work cut out if she's to overtake Silivash. Silivash so steady at the moment. And on each piece of apparatus, Svetlana must follow her. Signals to the judges and onto beam. A difficult front somersault mount. Getting the difficulty in early, but I've seen so many people come off and ruin their exercise right at the start.
When she started to run for the mount, she looked so positive. She looks very hungry. I think she's eager to get first place, or at least into the medals, but she really has her work cut out. Strajeva has beam last.
Flick, back somersault. Landed it beautifully. Since the retirement of Shushanova, it's been left to Boginskaya to carry the Russian flag. She's doing it magnificently at the moment. A great finish to that exercise for her as well.
John, she had almost an evil look in her eye before she mounted that beam. She looked absolutely bent on staying on. Never looked like falling off. And to keep her composure right to the end and land that double back so perfectly.
Gabriela Potorak to the vault. Again, the round off. Straight. One full twisting. Half twist onto the top of the horse, and then in the dismount, which is in fact 1.5 somersaults, another twist. And in the straight position, again holds that position beautifully.
Well executed vault from Potorak.
That's her total after 2 pieces, remember. And she's got 2 vaults, 9.912 she scored for the first vault. So that's the least she can score. Can she better it? .975 for Boginskaya. That brings her level with Daniela Silivash. And here goes Potorak again.
Good vault. Sturdy, powerful, not extremely high or extremely long, but very solid on the landing. Controlling rotation and twist to a perfect landing. Birgit from Austria, finishing her asymmetric bar routine. .362 after 2 disciplines. Sarah Mercer's second vault. Her first vault was a handspring tucked, which she landed safely. There, the handspring piked somersault. Daniela Bartova to floor from Czechoslovakia. Out of the floor area on the opening tumble, full in, back out, piked. Double twist punch front. Bartova, only 15 years old. First major international for Czechoslovakia. Good performance here could assure her of a place in the World Championships team. The dejected look because of the step out of the floor at the beginning. This is where it went wrong for her.
What a competition we've got then. It looks as if it could have been stage managed. Equal first, Daniela Silivash and Svetlana Boginskaya. And Boginskaya follows Silivash onto their last piece of apparatus, the floor. Third place, Strajeva. Fourth, Potorak. Fifth, Anodi from Hungary. And sixth, Alessa Dudnik from the Soviet Union.
Sweden's Anna Werner on asymmetric bars. Giants, toe on to pike, shoot front and half twist dismount.
Antje Wilkenlow from East Germany. Meant to be 3 twists, but didn't quite get there.
No, under twisted and very untidy. Germans looking a good deal sharper in competition than they were in training, though.
As with so many teams, the Olympic Games proving to be a real sort of watershed. Most of their established team retired, and 3 totally new gymnasts here, not well known on the world circuit at all.
And the triple twist at the end was better than the one performed at the beginning of the exercise. Still not quite round, but it would count.
After 3 pieces then, what a competition we've got. Daniela Silivash and Svetlana Boginskaya tied in the lead. Olga Strajeva 3rd, Potarac 4th, Anodi 5th, and Dudnik. Olga Strajeva in 3rd place at the moment, but scored that wonderful 10 on the asymmetric bars. If she could do it again on beam, the title could still be hers. Oh, but it's gone there and then. Badly off balance at the end of that opening tumble.
Yes, but she does have special qualities in her gymnastics. Beautiful body line, and that Healy from the handstand on beam, very difficult. John, the beam must have sad memories for her, because it was on this exercise in Seoul that she fell and injured herself and had to be carried from the arena.
Another sizable wobble there. And again, she's really not going well on this piece now. Much more solid there on the tumbling run.
There, the apparent strapping from that injured medial ligament, a remnant reminiscent of Seoul. And really that was quite a disaster for Olga Strajeva. She went into the lead after getting a 10, and really that could put her right out of the medals. 3 very obvious wobbles, and under the stress of pressure, she really didn't cut it.
There, the dismount, that was all right, but the damage was done before that. Daniela Meister from West Germany. Her last piece.
Daniela's 19 and one of the tallest gymnasts in the competition. 1 meter 68 tall. And coping with it very well indeed.
Olga Strajeva there, reflecting her beam scores just come up, 9.8, explaining where it went wrong. She goes into the lead at the moment, but in fact she might be out of the medals.
Giulia Volpi from Italy on beam. Oh, and that was going to be a very complicated inward pirouetting handstand. It didn't come off. 28.412 after 3 pieces. Beam does really require nerves of steel. It's so very easy to get up onto the beam in moments of pressure and improvise and miss out intricate skills that require a lot of guts. That, for example, the tick-tock into the half twist. Unnerved from the first imbalance from the tick-tock and then not building up enough impetus into the straight back, the third of the tumble series on beam there. Disappointing.
Well, here's the crunch for Daniela Silavash. Equal first at the moment, and now needs her very, very best performance. Oh, lengthy first tumble. So well, that pull in back out at the end of a 5-tumble sequence.
She really has to be precise about how she lands the punch front, working out of it into that next tumble.
And you won't find greater precision than that. Beautiful. What a change from the little waif that we used to see doing a sailor's hornpipe as part of her floor exercise.
Yes, really mature dancing, putting plenty of feeling in and managing to smile, something she couldn't do when she was younger.
Well, Boginskaya's going to have to go some to beat this if she lands this tumble well. Sensational, tremendous landing. Well, watch out for this. What are they going to give her for that, Monica?
Well, I wonder whether the judges would have been expecting more than a double back. I was almost speechless because I didn't know what to expect at the end of that routine. The double back was exquisite. The landing was absolutely perfect.
And she's so relaxed, she's got time to sign autographs as she leaves the podium. And for the first time, this crowd really animated, clapping and stamping their feet, trying to persuade the judges to give her 10. And that's the happiest I've ever seen Daniela Silavash.
Yes, John, I think that Silavash has been going through a tough time recently. She has grown, she has increased in weight, she's had to lose kilograms.
9.987 the score. Again, she got 10s from 4 of the judges, but two 9.95s in there from Denmark and Poland. So not quite perfect. It's a wonderful mark. It could be enough to win her the European Championship for the second time, but it's still possible for Boginskaya, who follows her, to win as well.
And a closer look at some of that precision, the double twisting back, the punch front into that further double twisting back somersault with tight legs and beautiful posture.
She's gone so well, not really a mistake of any consequence in the whole of her 4 exercises. Tremendous series of marks. 9.987, 9.975, 9.975 and 9.962.
It really would be wonderful if she could make it a double, because then she'd have the desire to go on and try and break the great Comaneci's record when she won the hat-trick in the 70s by taking 3 European crowns in succession.
Svetlana Boginskaya then knows exactly what she's got to do.
This is a very different routine, but I know that Boginskaya has improved her tumbles dramatically, and it is possible that she can overhaul Silivash if she puts in a bigger tumbles. Full in, back out, piked.
Very dramatic approach to this section of the dance. The Olympic bronze medalist.
These are important moments for her, how she lands from her tumbles. The middle one didn't match Silivash's in difficulty, but it did in quality.
Final tumbles. The round-off flick. Full in, back out to finish. That's a big finisher for her. Is it enough? We know what she's got to do. 9.987 gives her a share of the gold. If she gets the perfect 10,
well,
then she's got the gold on her own.
She's done absolutely everything she could. She pulled out her trump card. She landed the full in, back out. It could go either way, John.
Just got to wait and see. Marisette Geller, the Belgian girl, the local heroine, so whilst Boginskaya worries, we go to that. And there's the Boginskaya mark. She's got the perfect 10. Boginskaya's the new European champion. There we are. There are the scores. 10s from everybody. That final tumble did do it. Svetlana Boginskaya steals it from Silivash on her last piece. And I think the tears are about to come.
Well, that should bring a smile to Boginskaya's face. Brilliant exercise. I just wondered which way the judges would take it. She certainly is a magnificent stylist, but the last tumble did it.
That the middle tumble run we're seeing there. 2 superb gymnasts, and on the day, Boginskaya reverses the result that Silivash got over her in the Olympic Games. Silivash there took silver, Boginskaya bronze, with the great Shushinova taking gold. But now, Boginskaya, with the retirement of Shushinova, the Russian #1, and my goodness, they'll be pleased with her.
Yes, they will, and this is the tumble that did it. Although in saying that, Boginskaya undisputedly is a brilliant stylist, and the one thing she does have above Silivash is better body conditioning. She is more supple. She has greater range of movement, but this was the trump card that she played, and it paid off. That's what gave her the 10.
Henrietta Anodi on the vault. in 5th place at the end of the 3rd round. That her first vault, 9.925 the score for it. That moves her up into 4th place. Can she overtake Strajeva?
That her 2nd vault, but jumping back on landing, but tremendous power from somebody weighing under 40 kilos. The Reuter board doesn't weigh much less, so she has to put a tremendous amount of power into that board to get her tiny frame catapulted from the top of the horse. Not as good as the first. Donodi scores 9.9 for her 2nd vault, so 9.925 will be her score.
That puts her in 4th place. She can be overtaken by Gabriela Potorak, who finishes her competition on the asymmetric bars. And Nodi failed to overhaul Strajeva at the moment. It's USSR in 1st place. Boginskaya, definitely the new European champion, but Gabriela Potorak in with a chance of the bronze.
So many bar routines with so much skill. The judges have a terrible task to try and differentiate between the different qualities of the gymnasts. Some excellent work there from Potorak. Her top bar work was exquisite.
But I don't think she quite had the amplitude in her movements and the flair in the exercise to give herself a 10 and move up into the medals. We'll have to wait and see.
No, I don't think so. It wasn't dynamic enough. There were times where it was rather laboured. The dismount didn't go above the bar, so I would stick my neck out and say it certainly isn't worth a 10.
There's Potorak's score, 9.887, just behind Strajeva, but she goes into 4th place ahead of Anodi. Onto beam. Birgit here from Austria.
Oefening van de nummer 59, de nieuwe Marco Sloeg.
Gets here the front somersault, difficult move, but landed it. Waiting to go there, Sarah Mercer from Great Britain, onto the bars.
And it's not very often that on the release of a new rule book, another move has to be added, and Sarah Mercer, with this move, has already overtaken the rule book, but because in the new code of points that move hasn't been listed, and she had to submit it as a special requirement for which she gets an extra 2/10. Sweden's Anna Werner, last competitor on beam. Arab spring, double back tuck dismount.
Don't go away, we'll be back with more action here on Eurosport.